The story begins with a girl named Sophia, who is actually a shark researcher, who joins her colleagues in the Pacific Ocean to track a shark named Lilith. Sophia and her team had been tracking Lilith for quite some time, and they were wondering when Lilith would return to their radar, and these people would take a sample and do research on it. And then suddenly they start getting signals in their system that a shark is in their area. 4 members of their team, including Sophia's husband, jump into the sea and start looking for Lilith, only to find a baby whale, which, although it was a baby, was huge in size. The scary thing was that the baby whale was dead with half of its body missing. Now these people were thinking who could be the killer of this whale. Then the killer of the whale appeared in front of them. Yes, it was none other than Lilith, who had appeared in front of them now. Seeing that these people are quite frightened because when they examined Lilith 2 months ago, she was only 2.5 meters tall, and now she was about 7 meters tall. That is, in just 2 months, it had tripled, which was really quite shocking. Now the common sense here was that these people should have saved their lives and left. But here the biggest mistake is made by Sophia's husband. Even though he was facing his own death, he had to take the sample. That's why he stabs Lilith in the process of taking the sample from the shark's body. And just what happened as he feared, Lilith went out of control and attacked the 4 members of the team, severely cutting them to pieces. While Sophia and one of her companions could only see this view from the boat. She was also quite scared. When there was some peace, Sophia also jumped into the ocean with the hope that there might be someone alive, but there were only the dismembered bodies of the team members, who were completely killed by Lilith. There was blood everywhere, and now the shark comes in front of Sophia, who looked not less than a monster. And now she starts attacking Sophia and dragging her into the ocean with her. But somehow Sophia saves her life. And from here the scene changes. After 3 years, Sophia stopped researching sharks, and now she used to work as an aquarium guide, where she used to tell the children about the fishes, and about them which the children enjoyed a lot. Now here we see a girl, Mika, who was a marine activist researching and sharing knowledge about the ocean. She was running a company called Savior of Sea. This woman's job was to save marine life. It was her responsibility to protect every creature living in the sea. Mika now visits Sophia, who she takes to her headquarters, and shows her the Lilith shark that Sophia was researching a few years ago. She has been in a river in Paris for some time, and it's in their city's river, and just Lilith is about to enter her river. So Mika wants Sophia to help them examine Lilith, to which Sophia says it's no big deal. Often sharks move from one place to another due to changing weather. And yes, it is a bit difficult to get here from the Pacific Ocean. That's why Lilith can't survive in the fresh water of river, so she'll be back before she comes here. Now, along with this reason, Sophia also had a traumatic past that prevented her from being examined by sharks, and was stopping him from tracking, so Sophia leaves by giving some reason like this. Now we see 2 boys standing by the same Seine River, who receive 2 small missiles from the river. Then the police gather all the missiles and tell everyone that small missiles have been found in this river since the Second World War, and so there's nothing to fear. Now it's nighttime. Mika is in Seine River with a friend who came to investigate a car accident, but actually she had come to examine whether Lilith had come into the river. So Mika's friend jumps into the river where she sees huge shark claw marks. But the police also came here to arrest both of them because it was illegal to investigate any case like this, so the police arrest Mika, while her friend somehow escapes from there. We now see Sophia. She was tracking Lilith now, and she finds out that yes, Lilith is in Seine River. The next morning, the police pull out the body of the man who died in a car accident last night from the river. Now, seeing the condition of the body, everyone is very scared because half of his body is missing. It was as if a large animal had eaten it. Now outside the river are Sophia and Mika with the officers, and Sophia tells them in clear words that this is nobody else's work but Lilith's, and now we have to stop the shark, if we want people not to die like this from sharks. But here Mika misunderstands that if we want sharks to stop killing people, we have to kill sharks. She thought the officers would kill the shark together with Sophia, so she goes to work to save the shark because of course she is a marine savior. And the next day the officers and Sophia come to the Seine River. Their plan was to go straight into the river and catch the shark, so Sophia was helping them track the shark. Everything was going well. The sharks were about to be seen, but Mika makes a big mess here. She disrupts Sophia's tracker signals with the help of her hacker friend. This left the men unable to track the shark, and obviously posed a huge threat to the officers who went into the river. But Lilith does not go that way and changes her route, which saves her life. And then the officers get a chance to save their lives and they get out safely. And it becomes a pretty serious situation that there's a monster shark roaming the Seine River in the middle of town. So the officers go and tell the mayor. The mayor says worriedly that this shark has to be stopped by any means, because few days later there's a huge event on the same Sun River that they can't cancel under any circumstances. The officers start thinking about stopping Lilith, while Mika makes a video and secretly sent by several Marines activists, telling them about the sharks that the government wants to kill Lilith and many more sharks like her. That's why we have to go ahead and save them, even if it eats us. Then she says that tonight we'll go to the Catacombs of Paris. The Catacombs are actually a tunnel built under Paris. Spread under Paris, Mika reveals her whole plan to her friends. But before that, a friend of hers reaches the police and reveals her whole plan to the police. At the same time, Shark was in the Catacombs of Paris. Then as night fell, Mika came to the Catacombs with the Marine activists, where Sophia and the officers also went because they also found out about Mika's plane. There is an argument between the officers and the activists, where Mika jumps into the river to prove that the shark is not dangerous to humans. But then a shark came, which was not Lilith, with which many other sharks come. And then what happened? The shark proves that sharks are really dangerous for humans, and they don't leave humans. Attacks Mika badly, and gives her a very bad death. And then his body is dismembered, seeing all the Marine activists start running around panicking. And their futile plan to save the Marine's life is completely destroyed, as they realize was that even if they are an animal, they are not a savior. Some are enemies of their lives. Meanwhile, many activists fall into the river and become food for sharks. Humans were being torn to pieces in Shark's River everywhere. There was blood everywhere. As soon as the situation was brought under control, the survivors were rescued safely. And then, at the same time, a shark was also killed, which Sophia now starts checking and finds out that it is probably a female, who is about 2 months old, and she is also pregnant. And the surprising thing was this, that there are many baby sharks in her stomach. And then it turns out that the sharks are giving birth through a process in which they are able to give birth to a lot of babies at a time, also at a very young age, which is very dangerous because there are so many of them. They can grow in less time and can survive in fresh water, which they got from their mother Lilith, who had learned to live in fresh water. These people figure that there may be thousands of sharks living in the catacombs, so they decide that we will detonate the catacombs, which will kill all the sharks. Now the next day comes the swimming event where a lot of people will be swimming in the river at one time, because it was not told to the people. The mayor was in danger of sharks, but she doesn't cancel the event for her own benefit. But officers and trained Marines were disembarked in the river, and then they start monitoring, where a large net is tied on one side of the river, so that if any shark comes that way, it will get caught in it. While Senior Officer Sophia and her colleagues come to the catacomb, because they were going to explode in the main places there. Everyone reached their place. Senior Officer and Sophia were together. Where it was quite dark as the Senior Officer turned on the flashlight, we see a very scary scene around the officer. Thousands of baby sharks were roaming around. They were very nervous, although they were children, but they were so powerful that they could tear anyone into pieces, because despite being small, their size was quite large. All the bombs were fixed in place. But before the bombs explode, a shark attacks on Senior Officer. They somehow detonate the bombs, injuring him badly, but some of the baby sharks die. And the Senior Officer is pulled up now when Sophia goes back down into the river. Lilith is passing in front of her. She was very sad to see the pieces of her children's bodies, and was full of anger, and she could not see Sophia, but full of anger broke the net and went to the place where the swimming race started. Then it comes here and cuts a person into 2 pieces in one blow. This causes chaos everywhere, and then many sharks also come, which obviously came at Lilith's request. Because these sharks were not living in the catacombs, they did not die in the explosion, and their numbers were very high. These sharks attacked people swimming in the river badly. In an instant, the river turned red with blood, and pieces of their bodies were scattered everywhere. Also, the biggest mistake here was that the officer shot the sharks with a sniper, some of which hit the missiles in the river, which were lying there due to the Second World War, but were not diffused or fully active, so that one missile detonation causes many missiles to explode at the same time. With huge explosions, there is a terrible scene. The river water spreads everywhere, drowning the mayor as well as a large part of the city of Paris. And with it, there is a huge destruction. Only Sophia and the senior officers survive, who were watching the destruction around them. There were dead bodies and many sharks roaming around, and it was being told that these sharks were caused by the explosion, going to the surrounding area as well. And then they have spread all over the country, and the most dangerous thing is that they will spread all over the world from here, and will bring great destruction, which will erase the name and mark of humanity in the world, which is very dangerous. And with this heartwarming ending, the story ends here. If you like the video, then please subscribe to the channel.